Thank you, members of the Fourth Estate. As usual, Zanu Pf, the part of the permanent Zimbabwe revolution, values and cherishes your presence at their headquarters, more so as we carry out the activities of the party in discharging the mandate as the ruling party, which is responsible for the governance, day-to-day governance of Zimbabwe. Today we had an extraordinary session of the Zanu Pf Politburo, where the president, Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, saw it fit to convene this extraordinary meeting at a very solemn occasion where the government and the party and the people of Zimbabwe in general have lost solid patriots. One of them, a promising young general, recently promoted, who was looking forward to a more illustrious posting as a military attaché of Zimbabwe to our sister republic of Tanzania. That's Brigadier General Shadrick Vezha, a young man who happened to have been born as a triplet. He was part of an accident which claimed of by coincidence, two military vehicles being involved in a head-on in Battlefields area in Kwekwe. There were others who were lost, and among those, the party has seen it fit, and the government of Zimbabwe has seen it fit to accept, to recommend, and then to the Politburo, and the Politburo duly obliged, and the president ascended that Comrade Brigadier General Shadrick Vezha be declared a national hero. We want him to serve as an example of a dedicated patriot to the young people, to the girl child, to the boy child, that works of valor, works of patriotic commitment to the Republic of Zimbabwe will always be duly recognized, and in appropriate circumstances, even the supreme hero, national hero status can be conferred to young people who show so much commitment to the nation of Zimbabwe. The other comrade, the wartime war veteran, I worked with him during the war. I later worked with him again in the President's Department and in Foreign Service, because I was in before I became the Director General of ZBC. I was also in Foreign Service for quite some time as a diplomat, even before I became an ambassador to China. Comrade Nash, he joined the struggle as a young man in the 1970s, when the Mozambican independence motivated the Samora Machel generation, the Soweto generation, to leave everything about their lives and to cross the border into Mozambique in huge numbers, and to swell the ranks of Zanda and Zipra, and to resume the armed struggle which would lead to the independence of Zimbabwe. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of suffering along the way, but the indomitable spirit had gotten hold of that generation, and they sacrificed all to make Zimbabwe be what it is today. And Comrade Nash Dzivhuri has got this outstanding revolutionary career where he fought at the front. He also would train abroad in specialized areas of military warfare, and was a confidant at the highest level of the High Command of Zanu forces, particularly in the enforcement of discipline. We had the army had grown so big, and there were so many members and we had to install discipline when people became wayward. He would be dispatched with specially armed units, crack units, to go and enforce discipline, if need be, recall those who were found errant back to the rear, so that we could focus on the prosecution of the armed struggle with the due order and discipline. This is Comrade Nash Dzivhuri, also an intelligence officer who gave Africa one of the most admired security organizations, which has become the basis of the Africa Security Council Union, asking Zimbabwe to be a leader in Addis Ababa in the imparting of an African homegrown intelligence solution to the continent. This is something which speaks volumes about the recognition of Zimbabwe in this field. And Comrade Nash Dzivhuri is one of the co-founders of what is now our President's Department, the CIO, the professional training during the struggle in Mozambique. He also would serve in the investment division. As we fought against sanctions, we had to see what we could to keep production going and to keep attracting investments to Zimbabwe under very adverse circumstances, which hopefully now are going to be easing because of the American Treasury Department finally admitting that their sanctions have failed. These are the heroes of the anti-sanctions fight in the President's Department. So he has been also declared a national hero. And sadly, as the President was coming to deliberate on these two male cadres, we received the news that Comrade Grace Dzivhuri, a long-time cadre of the party, this one belongs to the Women's League. She passed away, and the Harare province has seen it fit to ask that she be declared a national hero. And the President, in consultation with his Politburo, have duly acceded to the request of Harare province. So Comrade Grace Dzivhuri will be interred together with the two others. So we have a triple burial at Heroes Acre of these three outstanding patriots, after all of them have been conferred with national hero status. Comrade Dzivhuri is born from the Mangwende family, and for young people, you want to know that Chief Mangwende was always on the wrong side of the Rhodesian colonial settler racist administration, as he carried on the spirit of resistance against the Rhodesia settler regime of Ian Smith, and she belongs to the Chief Mangwende family. And because of that pedigree in Grace Dzivhuri, she was always active in politics, first during the early stages of the nationalist movement in the urban areas of Harare and Highfields and Bare. She was an activist as a young girl. She also, of course, took advantage of a family background, become a trainee nurse, and she always found a way to be active in the colonial government. And using that position, she would further the nationalist cause, being among the young women who supported Sabina Mugabe, Anna Ruth Chinamano, the early women nationalists. Remember, patriotism has no gender, patriotism has no creed, patriotism has no religion. So these were the women who said, we want to be part of the nationalist struggle. She would also be very active during the war, supporting the war the Wakomana, Kumaroa areas, as they were politicizing and prosecuting the armed struggle, and became it was at the forefront of organizing the vote for Zanu Pf so that we could snatch 2 seats away from Zorewa in the urban areas. He only won 3, 2 in Harare. With Zanu Pf won some of, we won Harare that, but it was very difficult because during the transition period, Harare had become the stronghold of the opposition. ANC Amzorewa. She was one of those women, organizers of the 1980 elections who managed to make Zanu Pf penetrate urban areas so that we could win a seat in Harare at that particular time. And she was also active afterwards in various women organizations within the party, but also in governance. And in 2000, when the former MDC, now CCC, was formed, she was one of those who remained loyal, because Harare literally deserted to the opposition because urban areas suffered from sanctions. And when you suffer from sanctions, discontent was rampant. But she remained committed to the party and organizing the party under very difficult circumstances. And she also became a senator, and she was in our National Consultative Assembly. So for the girl child, this is an illustrious career of commitment dating back to the 60s, stretching all the way to today with the changing vagaries of the political circumstances of Zimbabwe, but always being constant and active in defense of the line of the party as it fights for prosperity of the Zimbabwe people. So these are the 3 heroes. This was the reason for this meeting today, this extraordinary session of the Politburo. That's why it was so short. The nation at large will be happy to know that, well, not happy, you can never be happy, is being advised that the burial will be on Monday. That was because now there are 3 heroes and 2 heroes and a heroine. We need to organize it properly and coordinate the families. So to do it properly, in the week of the trade fair, where President Ruto is coming to grace our trade fair, one of the most attended, probably the most attended trade fair, which speaks of the revival, which is a litmus taste of the revival of our Zimbabwe economy. So there is very big excitement in the air about the trade fair. So we felt that we wanted to grant these 3 heroes and heroines a proper burial, which is not where there's due attendance by the people of Zimbabwe, and Monday was seen fit to be the day of burial on Monday next week. I think I've ended my briefing. This is the reason why we're here today. I don't think there are any other matters which may be of interest, unless one has got questions about this.